very old friend came by today, 'cause he was telling everyone in town of the love that he just found, and Marie's her name.
Hi, it's Lee Martin here with Neo Buggy TV, and this is my mate Neil with Neil Buggy. Alright guys, we're going to do a quick track walk and try and let you guys know what to expect to watch throughout the week, what parts are good, what parts are bad, and what's going to mess everyone up. So we're off on that. Let's do this stuff. This is a straight. so this bit's pretty easy for most drivers. Even Showtime can get this bit right normally. You start at one end, and the idea is to finish at the other without crashing. So you've got to go really fast because they've got a speed gun. So yeah, there's no backing out early. You're missing your apex, but at least you're doing 60 kilometers an hour, as Canai proved. Yeah, we just take a small, slow walk down. The pit lane's actually pretty grippy. They've used some kind of felt, and it's pretty twitchy coming down the pit lane. Although you've got a nice little line down the middle to make sure you know where the middle is, and you're going to try not to rip a wheel off.
Right hand side, man.
You got to drive on the right side.
So we go into turn one, and because of the jump straight after it, you want to be running like a couple of meters wide, just so you can make that double. I mean, I'm not too sure about the finals. I think this first corner is going to be chaos, but the optimum line is maybe 2 meters off the apex, just so you can clear the double, no problem. And back to Leroy.
And yeah, just after the double now, there's our first hole appeared, which I for sure didn't think we'd see a hole on this track, but it's basically gone down about 1 centimetre to concrete. that's concrete there, so that's about as much deterioration as you're going to get, I think, on this track. This right here, I mean, it doesn't look like anything, but this is down to concrete already, so you can see the thin layer of dirt they put on. I mean, the dirt anyway they've put down is really, really hard and really abrasive, and yeah, as we're down to that already, it's not too dissimilar, to be honest.
All right, this is a little. I mean, this looks like a nothing jump, but if you hit it a little too hard, it does give you a bit of a kick, and it throws off the whole next corner. So not too fast over this, nice and level. Then you get to the, I mean, I think it's just the wooden section. I don't know what to call this, but wooden slats, but basically not too tricky, but you can't go too fast, or you're flipping straight off the side of the track. But it's a pretty straightforward section. Nice and tight, and then it's balls out to the raised hairpin at the Nova Rossi hairpin, as I'm now christening it. And I think I'm going to let Lee take that one for you.
So we hit this concrete corner table, which we all think's concrete, but actually they've just painted the dirt blue. So for most people, this isn't concrete.
I think the paint's holding up pretty well, to be honest.
Yeah, the paint's done good. I mean, it's I think they should paint the whole track blue. Why not? But this is where we marshal, and well, you can rest your hand on the bar there.
You look like you're in a zoo.
Yeah, in a zoo. Yeah, that's probably where you should be, to be honest. But actually, this paint's been wet for about 4 days now. So yeah, so that's the marshal point. Yep, straight off the corner table. You want to come into it pretty much in the centre to inside, I think, and try and stay tight. But mainly, you want to be on the gas as early as possible. As soon as you start to hit that downslope, I'm full chat, and I'm pretty sure most people are full chat into this next corner. Whereas this section is actually a little tricky from the driver's stand, because as Phil looks at us now, you kind of see you come out the corner and you want to stay tight to this pipe here, and you naturally do. But early on, people were running way too far left, and yeah, coming through the grass. But yeah, on this one, it's a nice little right-hander. You can't see it all great, but it's not really crucial that you do. Just maybe a quick dab of the brake, slow it down a touch, and get on the gas. Yeah, the concrete's coming through here. In the last run, then my car was starting to get GTI, we call it, where it decks over the front and the rear wheel lifts a little, which is a sign of having a bit too much grip. So with actually coming over and walking it, now the concrete's coming through. That's probably what's caused that. So there might be a few grip rolls on this corner for anyone that hasn't come over near and had a look. Now we come into the Laguna Seca corner, and I'll let Neil talk you through it.
All right. Again, it's coming up this slight slope. It's a little deceiving because you're not quite sure, where your turning point is until you get to the brow, as you say. Crest, yeah. So, you want to sweep out slightly to the right to get an optimum line. But you're going down steps, so you can't go too fast, so you swing out right, back to left, nice and tight. Then a little cobbles, nothing too serious. Don't want to hook too much of the apex here because this is where a grip roll's coming in straight away. I've done it a few times myself, just tried to get too much curb and straight over. And no Marshall, obviously, my practice. So you're losing about 10 seconds. But this is pretty much it's a pretty slippy bit of the track, I'm going to be honest. Everything else is super grippy, but the cobble section and the pavement section is actually pretty slippy.
I think different type of pavings have different grip, don't they?
Yeah.
So the first ones have a bit of grip, and then you're drifting a little on the way out.
Yeah, that's right. So it's all about momentum. All right, yeah, so we're coming off the pavement. It's actually pretty slippy, but you can ride quite a lot of curb, to be honest. It's more than what you think. F1 style, all the curb. And we're coming back past the driver's stand to the fast roller, which Lee's going to explain for you.
Yeah, we're hitting this thing. We're full chat up to this. Absolutely full chat. As most of the sections on this track where it's straight, you just want to be absolutely on it. And basically about where I am now, I want to be tapping the brakes, maybe a touch before, slowing it down. Otherwise, you're ending up way over there somewhere. Yeah, if you're cool, you can bubba scrub it and get up here and then you just whip it a bit sideways. You're not making any time, but you're making yourself look cool, and Phil likes that sort of thing. So we want to land pretty short. There is a small crest of the jump, kind of does double down a little bit. So you want to make sure you're just over that mark and landing about where Neil is now. And then after that, I'm hugging tight, and then you're hitting the triple section, which is a double single. And basically, you can hit it pretty hard. You don't have to worry too much about making a downslope or over jumping or anything. You can just make sure you land between the next two, and then you're good to go. After that, we have, when I get there, we have a nice little hairpin here. This is actually my favourite corner on the track, just for racing and for watching. It's nothing special, but once you've done your double single, you come out, just get straight on it, full lock, turn it in. It's got really good traction. It doesn't want to grit roll here. There's a lot of curb to ride, and it's just a real cool corner. I just like driving this corner. So yeah, once again, there's a lot of concrete here. I think we'll be seeing a lot of concrete before you know it, and it seems like it was a darker colour, so I think you'll see it come up. You might think it's a blue groove, but it might just be concrete. And then you're firing yourself into the first section of a four-piece, a four-jump section, but it's a single roller, big single roller, and then into a double. Well, this is the first option line we've come to on this track, and I'll let Neil talk you through the options we have.
Yeah, so we got a pretty straightforward roller here. If you take an option one, which is the most popular, you head into it, a lot of brake, nice and tight. And then if you're taking my line, the girls' line, it's nice and easy over this roller. Not as as little air as possible, and then a nice easy double. Or if you're one of the cool kids, or you want a super lap, you're just gonna hit the first roller a little harder, bring yourself wide, and then like a late apex, and then cut yourself back across and make yourself a big double single. It's maybe a tad faster. There's really not much in it, but it's way riskier. Only the top guys are doing it. Ronald Falk's not doing it, and he's going around pretty good. So, but it's each to their own. I'm always a safety first guy, so I'm a single double, but maybe I'll try a double single later on. I don't know, But this is probably the bit of the track that's is a make or break. For the winner. Personally, this is where it's going to come from. So, but yeah, two options: nice and safe single double, or a bit more ballsy double single. So, and then we come to the a pretty straightforward chicane, but that's not turned out to be a pretty straightforward chicane. You know, I'm going to let Lee talk you through this one.
So once we've done our option part here, we come into the chicane, which generally on most tracks this is easy. This is no problem. But on this track, it's probably the most place you'll see a car crash. Well, actually second. We'll get to the first one in a minute. But out of here, you're coming in, you're landing your double or your single, you're squaring up and you're just punching it through, like you would most chicanes. If it's got a straight line, you're aiming for it. The problem with this one is it's got this huge red pipe that kicks you in the arse. You come through here, sometimes you think you're miles away, and you can tell by the lack of paint it now has how many people have hit it. Your best bet is to hit the whole thing, like miss it by a foot. If you're missing it by an inch, you're taking your front wheel off. So yeah, you want to come wide. You want to be fast as you can. You want to keep it in. You want to drive through there like a straight line and be fast, but you're going to hit it at some point and you could possibly break your car. So my advice, or my reckoning of it, is I'm going to square up quite early and just drive through smooth, and then aim towards this pretty cool jump up here. I like this jump. It kind of messes you up sometimes, but it's pretty cool. You can come in after you've done your chicane, which you're generally going to be pushed a little bit wide anyway. The first section of the jump is just a normal kicker, and then it's got a real cool off-camber downslope. And you can kind of hit it pretty hard and land, or you can take it slow and get a lot of drive out. The only problem with it sometimes, where you're halfway around the corner, you can end up on the grass and trying to hit the marshal in the ankles. But, you know, as long as you make him dance, it's at least something satisfying. So, and then we're heading down to the cobble section where Mr. Cragg will take over.
Yeah, as Lee said on that corner jump, it's a pretty straightforward jump, but it is quite easy to over jump it. It's you know, it's a nice and easy, nice and short, and drive down. And yeah, you come to the cobbled tile section. I don't know what to call it, but this is quite. Yeah. Some pikers have done some, you know. Well, you know. So yeah, you come in and you'd expect, from what we normally see, you come in, brake, loads of traction, little bit of grip roll, and away you go. But this is actually one of the slickest part of the track. You come in, if you brake, you try and braking on the concrete or on the dirt, but if you end up braking too late, you end up just jumping straight off it, running wide, losing time. So this bit for me is a kind of take your time coming in, make sure you're slowed down quickly. Nice tight apex, try and stay, you know, a foot away from the corner, which is pretty hard.
If you want to do some DIY, you pick that up and screw the pipe back in.
Good tips. So yeah, not enough traction coming out because we've got a different pattern of patio slab.
Crazy.
A little bit more abrasive, so more traction. Nice little hop out. All right, yeah. So nice and tight out of this corner, and we come to the. This is going to be the make and break of the final. I think this is going to decide who's world champion and who's a nobody. So I'm going to let Lee talk you through this one.
So this was the first day mayhem maker. This thing, so many people crashed on this jump on day one that it was ridiculous. So first we look at it. The first thing you want to take into account is this isn't a straight jump. If you had a bird's eye view, this thing really hooks left before hooking back right. Like where I am now compared to where that camera is, it's quite a bit of a change in direction, which a lot of people kind of didn't get to start with, I think. It's the way I was looking at it is if you're coming out tight in this corner, you should be all right. But a lot of people seem to be coming in thinking, yeah, we'll just hit this jump flat out and see what happens, and ending up way over there in the grass.
Well, Phil, look where the Marshall point is now.
That Marshall point was way closer until a few people got killed. So, I mean, the Marshals, that's a danger area for them. But yeah, a lot of people coming in. Phil looks from where I'm looking now and comes up here, and you know, the straight line, the racing line is off the track, which most people tried. So once that, we've got this huge kick on here, which is a concrete kick. A few people were saying it would wear out. Yeah, that's concrete. So that ain't wearing out. So Yeah, people were doing that, and then once they were getting wide, they were freaking out a little bit, hitting this way too hard. The rear end of the car was going sky, and then it was just a mess. I mean, there was a few videos floating about of how many times people got it wrong, but once you've made your way over that, then you land on the first bit of AstroTurf on our track. And to be honest, there's not really much of a downside to this, and not many people have hit it. You're coming at it quite fast to make it, and you're not really getting much height. So you're not really hitting this downslope. So once you've made this, assuming you have, without killing someone, you're then aimed with going onto the straight, which sounds fine until the first time you do it and realise there's a big bump here. Which, if you take it too fast, you're ending up over there in the banners. If you go too slow, you're just doing a slow lap. So key is making the jump, trying to stay on line, not hitting this too hard, but being just on the edge of crashing, and getting over onto the start of the straight for a fast lap. And that's about it. I'm not really sure where the loop is. Where is the loop? Is it that?
Yeah, that's probably it there. Yeah.
So I think that the start line is here. I'm not 100% sure. But if it's going across here, a lot of people end up crashing here, which can kind of basically, you know, in qualifying it's not so much of a big deal, but if you're doing your seeded practice runs and you come and you crash here, you've not only kind of wrecked that lap, you've wrecked the lap you're starting too. So it's quite hard. We're doing 3 consecutive laps today. It was a little bit tough to get 3 in with a few of the traffic runs and stuff. A few guys looking fast, the usual guys, David, Ty, Drake's looking pretty good. Things to look out for on a track. What do you know, people are going to be watching this through qualifying and the finals. What do you think there is to look out for? What's going to happen? Where's the points that people are going to crash or possibly break their cars?
Well, there's maybe 2 or 3 points that you're looking at. The track's pretty straightforward, except for the option lines, the death chicane, and then the double coming onto straight is the make or break. It's simple. Everything else is pretty straightforward. And it's good fun, to be honest. I mean, a lot of people come into the meeting, they were really worried about the track. You know, people weren't too sure about the surface, but this is probably the best part of the meeting so far. The track's been really good fun to race on. So,
yeah, I echo that. I think, a lot of people were like, oh, what do you think the track's going to be like? To be honest, I never really had any doubts that the track would be pretty cool. Even if it goes to the concrete, it's going to be consistent. It's going to be pretty good racing. I think something to look out for, not so much in qualifying, but come finals, is guys' tyre wear. Tyre wear seems to be pretty high so far, with some manufacturers having more tyre wear than others and struggling to find tyres that will cope. Especially if we start getting more concrete up, I think that's something to look out for in the longer finals. So, you know, keep your eyes out, have fun watching, and I'm sure you'll hear from us when we spaz up all through qualifying.
Yeah, me too.